You keep missing God's big blessings, not because He's withholding them, but because you're too distracted to notice what's right in front of you, too caught up in the noise of comparison, anxiety, and control to hear the whisper of divine timing. And the truth is, many people secretly sabotage their own breakthroughs by trying to force blessings on their own terms, in their own time, in their own way, forgetting that God doesn't respond to impatience, He responds to faith. Hebrews 11:6. And your obsession with what hasn't happened yet is blinding you to what's already moving. You say you trust God, but trust doesn't look like constant complaining, overthinking, or scrolling through everyone else's testimonies while quietly resenting your own journey. Trust looks like Abraham walking up the mountain without knowing where the ram is, Genesis 22. Like Noah building an ark when there wasn't a single cloud in the sky. And some of you are delaying your destiny because you refuse to obey without the full picture, forgetting that the blessing is often hidden in the obedience, not after it. You say you're waiting on God, but what if God's been waiting on you to forgive that person, to break off that toxic relationship, to let go of that secret sin you keep justifying in the name of grace, when in reality it's a soul tie that's keeping you spiritually numb and emotionally paralyzed? And you wonder why your prayers feel dry and your spirit feels empty? Because you cannot receive the fullness of what's holy while still clinging to what's unclean. 2 Corinthians 6:17. And here's the shocking truth most won't tell you. Many of God's biggest blessings come disguised as inconvenience, as tests, as doors that don't look like doors. David's path to kingship started with a battlefield lunch delivery, 1 Samuel 17. Ruth's future was hidden in an act of loyalty, not strategy, Ruth 1:16. And Joseph's promotion started 2018 in a prison cell. So if you're only looking for the obvious, the comfortable, the immediate, you'll miss what's disguised in the uncomfortable, the confusing, the delayed. Because God often conceals glory inside what looks like rejection. And some of the things you're calling attacks are actually divine redirections. Closed doors that are meant to protect you from settling beneath your calling. And let's be real, some of you haven't missed the blessing because it wasn't sent, but because you refuse to grow into the version of yourself that could carry it. God won't give a platform to someone who can't steward private integrity. He won't hand over influence to someone who still gossips, complains, and lives in cycles of offense, because favor without character leads to collapse. And until you realize that the waiting season is the building season, you'll keep circling the same wilderness, blaming the devil for what's really just immaturity masked as spiritual warfare. And maybe the biggest reason you keep missing God's best is because deep down, you still don't believe you're worthy of it. You keep disqualifying yourself in your mind, reminding God of your failures, your past, your weakness, as if He didn't already factor all of that in when He called you, Romans 8:28. As if grace wasn't designed for broken vessels. And the enemy loves this because if he can't take your blessing, he'll try to convince you to reject it, sabotage it, delay it by thinking too small, settling too early, or clinging to your comfort zone while calling it wisdom. So here's your warning. If you don't shift your posture now, if you don't learn to praise before the breakthrough, move when it's uncomfortable, obey when it's inconvenient, and believe when it feels impossible, you will keep missing what was meant for you, watching others step into their purpose while you remain stuck in cycles you were called to break. And this is not the time to coast spiritually. This is the time to wake up, repent, realign, and move, because God is still sending blessings. But the question is, will you be ready when they show up?